Tapestry Hospice, the patient is the focus of our care. We are here to serve you and facilitate your wishes. Tapestry caregivers are concerned with managing your pain, keeping you in touch with your physician, and helping you make plans for the future. Hospice is life-affirming, and Tapestry Hospice can help you deal with all aspects of life, mind, body, and soul. Call Tapestry Hospice for more information. 706-383-8812. That's 706-383-8812. Tapestry Hospice, redefining hope.
All right.
Radio KWN.
Thank you there, Patrick, with the weather update just before that. We got some rain coming in, so that's going to be neat. Segment number 3 of the KWN Today program is on the air. It's our Newsmaker segment. We welcome to the Newsmaker segment as we talk every Thursday about county government. And Dade County Vice Chair of the Commission, Robert Goff, in the studio. Good morning, Commissioner. How are you?
I'm doing fine, Evan. How are you?
Oh, doing good. Appreciate you coming in, being a part of the program, bringing things that are happening to Dade County. I know y'all had an earlier meeting this week, and it was just a very well. Matter of fact, the timed it. It was less than 5 minutes. I think 4 minutes. And
that was
seconds.
a long meeting for this particular.
You know, and it's really it's a formality that you do every year to collect the taxes for the Dade County School Board. Now,
that's true, and I think and I'd have to look back at what Dr. Harris said, but out of their out of their revenue, to collect those taxes, the county gets about, I think it's either $115,000 or $150,000 or something of that money to the county to do it. So, and that's all it is. And Commissioner Hartline asked that question or clarified it at the end. All we don't meet to approve their millage rate. We have nothing to do with that. It's just because we are going to collect it. That we have to have that resolution.
We've got several independent taxing agencies within Dade County. One of them would be the City of Trenton.
Yes.
They're an independent taxing agent within their limits of the city. The school board is also an independent taxing agency, and as well as the county commission. So all three of y'all are independent taxing agents.
Yes.
And there is some school systems in the state of Georgia that collect their own taxes, and they do have that. If they wanted to take that $150,000 and collect their own, they could do that.
They could,
and they've always chose here because it just makes more sense. We've already got one collection system. And it helps out. It helps the county to be able to operate.
Well, it's a lot of mail outs. You don't have, so much. It's in, sure. Like as you mentioned, the City of Trenton. They collect their own, but. The good thing is, at least, I don't think the city has, finished all theirs up yet, but the school system is done and the county's done, and everything's running good. I do want to mention before we get started that I think you can, if you can't read this on screen, this is about our census, and I think Kerry told me we were at like 50.2%.
Oh, have we not went up any at all?
Very little. We're inching up, and I know this is something that only happens every 10 years, and this has been because of the coronavirus. It's been different than anything we've ever seen. We've got all the mail outs to our homes and what have you, and some information prior to this COVID thing really getting vamped up, and then I guess a lot of people that became not so important to them anymore. But I'm telling you, folks, if you're listening, this is very important. If we in this census period, and I don't know how it would all work out, but if we're 50%, that means we've got about 8,000 people that have done their census, 8,000 people that are counted. You imagine if we begin another 10-year period and people looking at coming to Dade County for business or whatever and say, well, they only have 9,000 people or 10,000 people, then we're actually shooting our own self in the foot, not to mention the amount of money that goes to our school system, the amount of money that goes to our seniors and programs like that. So if you have not done a census, or somebody asked me the other day, they said, well, what if you did it, but you forgot, or you don't really understand? It can be checked out, and I'm sure that there's a place you can find that out. Look on our website. Kerry does a very good job of keeping all this stuff posted on our website. The ways you can do it by phone, you can do it by computer. I did notice the other day, I was down at a business here and a car was there and a guy got out. So the door-to-door is going to take place for people that haven't done it, and may be taking place already. But so there may be somebody knocking on your door. Just make sure they are legitimate, and they should have all the information or all the identification to show that they are. But please take time out. It takes less than 10 minutes to do this, and the benefits that we have.
Phone.
Right,
I mean,
you can
do it on your phone, so it's not a. You can do it on your phone. You can do it on your computer. You can go by the library if you don't have a computer, and then you can wait till somebody comes to the door and do it that way.
Right.
So there's really no reason, and we've talked about it. Kerry and I have talked about this number of times. It's a constitutional requirement.
It is.
If you believe in this great country of ours, and you believe in the Constitution and the right to bear arms and our freedom of speech and this country that we're founded on, it's in the Constitution that every 10 years we shall be counted, and that's what we need to do. And you're a preacher. There was a census going on years ago that had some pretty important people in it.
That's what got Mary to the place she had to be, be the mother of our Lord, because you couldn't. And you know what? They couldn't even do it by mail. They had to go.
They did it by donkey.
That's it. They did. Yeah, by donkey or however you get there. But you did not have an option. You had to go to the place. And of course, Joe, it'd be great to get into that. But there's a lot going on. I would like to mention a couple of things here. First of all, the Lookout Lake Dam project is going. If I don't know how many people have gone by there. I just want to urge you again, when you look at the lake at the stage it is now, it had to be drained to do the work. It's not going to be that way from now on. Once this work is done, and the siphoning pipes, I was out the day before yesterday, and all that's going in, and a lot of this language is above my head, and I'm sure it is a lot of people of what we're talking about doing there. But what it is we're having to put now, when those are in, then there'll be a culvert built that will carry the water through where the pipes used to be, the two corrugated 48-inch pipes and all that, so that can be controlled. There's 4, I think, 8-inch siphon lines that'll be in it, that valves could be turned in the case of high water, a lot of water, and before it could spill over the dam. So all this is taking place, and the knee-jerk reaction sometimes to things that it is ugly right now. To look at it's ugly. We put, and I'm sure Chairman Rumley mentioned this, we put an aerator in it because the level of water is down. I think there's still 10 or 12 feet of water there where they're at, but so that the fish could continue to have oxygen in the water. And so things are coming along there, and it will be done. And that being mentioned, we got an email this morning from I call him Mayor Case. He's got 15 different hats he wears, but there's a possibility of some very strong rains and storms coming in this evening after all this drought. So that's the kind of thing, when they do happen, it will help that lake build back up to it. But that is going on. And then County Road 6, as we refer to it, the little shortcut road from the second horseshoe curve to 301 on Sand Mountain. That work will have to begin pretty soon because it is sliding. So all those things to get done. Somebody wanted us to mention, and it is a very good thing, we're about to change seasons. It's hard to believe that we're about to go into September now. School has started back. The time will change. And obviously some of these children getting out and walking to school and different places to make sure that you have reflective strips on the backpacks, or maybe a lot of the shoes and things that kids wear today have them, and jackets. But we want people to be seen if they're walking to school. And also, someone asked about the Department of Driver Services, when they will be in Trenton. They will be here this coming week, this coming Monday. They're here every other Monday. Not every, like 2 weeks a month, it's every other Monday. Now that schedule is on the county website. It's on, you can see it, there. You wouldn't, but we don't want you to have to come all the way to the commission building to see it, but it is posted there. But you can get all this information. If you are not able to find it, call the commission office and somebody can tell you, because we've got it posted there when they will be here, and that is only for renewal of license. It's not for any driver test or anything like that. But just some of the things that people want to know and they need to know. Of course, a big one, I know everybody wants to hear numbers, is on the COVID-19. And right now, as we were talking before we went on air, the numbers, if you look at them sometimes, it just looks like it's out of control. For instance, this morning in the Chattanooga paper, we show 165 cases in Dade County with 2 deaths. We certainly have had the 2 deaths, and our hearts still go out to those families that lost those loved ones in that. But the 165 is the total of anybody that ever had it, not people in Dade County. I don't know the numbers, but somewhere probably between 30 and 40 actual cases are right now. That 20 or 30 to 40 people in Dade County,
and you
citizens.
got to understand, every 14 days, those folks are coming off.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's a rolling number.
Absolutely.
If you will, and I think Kerry was talking about this, and so I think last Friday or Thursday, over the last couple of weeks, we've been about 30 to 35 cases,
yes,
something like that, right, Kerry?
That's the average.
You know, on an average that would be considered active. And last Friday, I think the last hospitalization, I think we had a total of 8 since they began keeping records that have even been hospitalized from Dade County. So we've been very, very fortunate to only have those. I mean, you know, like you said, 1 death is too many, but we've been extremely fortunate.
We have, and no one, and myself or anyone else, did not want to come off as downplaying the seriousness of this virus. I think Commissioner Lowry mentioned at our call meeting the other night that on that particular day in the Chattanooga area hospitals, there were 100 people in the hospital for COVID. Of course, the hospitals could be full, but they're not full of people with COVID-19.
Right.
Yeah. So
you're exactly right, and just to add to that, Commissioner, if you remember back in March and April, when they shut the hospitals down from all elective surgeries,
mm-hmm.
they wasn't doing anything, and they were making preparations for a big influx of folks. We talked a lot about ventilators and stuff, so they stopped the hospitals from basically doing business, with the exception of taking care of the COVID patients. That's not the case now. The hospitals are doing the elective surgeries, they're doing the regular routine stuff, plus they're also handling the COVID cases, and they're still not at capacity.
Right.
So I mean, you know, it's you know, sometimes the media, which we are, you know, gets you know, depending on what you're hearing.
that's it.
You know, or how you're hearing it, I guess you could say. So
well, if we look at the sheer numbers that you were showing on the screen the other day, it looked like we jumped 200 and something cases in Dade County. But, you know, when people see that, I urge you, don't just look at that number and think, because those numbers more and more are being proven wrong.
There's only been 165 confirmed cases.
Total from, you know, early, late March to now. So those are the total numbers. So when they show a 200 and something, it looks like, oh my God, you know, another 50 you know, it's gone up over 100%. It has not. The numbers were wrong, and the same things happened in Hamilton County and Chattanooga because some numbers got swayed a little bit. It is serious, and people need to take it serious. And you need
stay
to
6 feet apart, wear your mask, wash your hands. You know, stay safe.
But that's it.
It's really been the same message all
through it, and it is serious. But that is something we're dealing with right now. You know, you mentioned the football game. Possibly tomorrow night, the inter-squad game. If people can come out, you're asked even there to try to stay, you know, 6 feet away from, unless you're a family coming together. You're already living in the same house. That doesn't mean
you know, we don't have time to get into it, but Mr. Farney, the high school principal over there, hats off to them. I watched the video that he put out to the students the morning that they were arriving, and the way that they have done the cafeteria, and they put white pieces of tape where they can sit in the gymnasium. Mm-hmm. They have white pieces of tape where you can sit, where you can't sit. They've measured it out 6 feet apart. They've done an outstanding job And if we will just follow those, and your family sits together, if there's 4 of you in a family, sit here, go to the next piece of tape, sit down. If there's 2 of you, go to the next piece of tape. Then we can all enjoy the game.
That's right. It's just, we do what we have to do to keep ourselves, and we've got to be responsible for our own self, surely. And some of the things is to help others, and anything that helps, then we need to do.
And if the stadium gets full, they can be over on your side where you're holding the chains. They can go over to, they're going to open up the visitor side.
That's the exciting side anyway. And there will be, I understand this game is for training for the GHSA officials as well. They have some rule changes every year, and so those kind of things, it gives them an opportunity to get those ironed out. They're never going to, striped shirts, they're never going to be right. But they've got to do what they got to do. So this will be, I think, interesting. Hope we get to do it, weather permits, and we can get back to some sense of normalcy. I think some things have changed forever, at least for a long, long, long time in this, as far as the mask and that kind of thing in certain places. But we will get back. America's a strong nation. The world is a strong world. God is a great God, and we'll get back to living our lives, back to work and things like that. We'll get elections over with, and some of the things will die down. But things are looking, and one thing I do want to mention, I know we'll have to get off of here in a minute, there will be an 18 and over baseball thing this Sunday at noon at the Fourfield, what we call the Fourfield, Dade County Sports Complex. So I'm not all into everything about that, but you can find out more if you want to, by contacting the office, contacting Stacy Stevens at the park, what it's all about. You might be interested in watching, or maybe playing, or getting a team in a league, or whatever. But I would like to say hats off to Stacy for all he's done down there, because that is a gathering place for a lot of people, and also to Commissioner Hartline, who has taken that on as part of his reporting thing, and doing very well with it, and trying to better market our sports facilities down there at the Fourfields, to bring in teams that will help defray the cost of it. It's not
Absolutely.
So thanks to Philip, thanks to Stacy for all he does. Everybody in our county, our sheriff's department, our road department, they're all busy right now mowing and taking care of things. It's an ongoing thing when we talk about Dade County, as any county, but it's an ongoing thing with a lot of little things and a lot of big things. And you have to do them all and work them in, and thanks to people that we serve that allow us to do that.
Commissioner, the phone number to the commission is 706-657. Does anybody?
4625.
4625.
Yeah. Now here's the problem with that. Everybody's got numbers in their phone, and they never have to look at them anymore.
That's true.
But my number is 423-503-0618. If you have a question, anything that I've talked about today, or anything that I have not talked about that you're interested in, 423-503-0618, and be glad to try to answer it. If I can't, I'll get you an answer.
Thank you, Dade County Vice Chair Robert Goff in the studio on the Newsmaker segment. We thank him very much for being here with us on Thursday when we talk county government. We'll have more KWN Today right after this.